Amber's unable to attend tonight. We're good? Okay. Good evening. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to General Council for May 24th. Identification of media. Oh, May 14th, sorry. Oh, it's been a long day. May 14th. Identification of media, I don't see any. But before we get started, let's take a moment of deep reflection to remember and pay respects to those that we have recently lost. Can we have a minute of silence? Thank you. So adoption of agenda, is there any additions? Helen has one. I have one. And also Nathan. And Shirley can do the update on bread and cheese.
Yes.
Thank you. Elena?
Did the minutes come in for April 23rd, or are we deferring those to the next agenda?
No, they didn't come in at this time. Yep. So the minutes will also be deferred. With those additions, can I have a mover? Moved by Audrey, seconder. Second by Carrie. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. Number 5. Delegations. Mike Seth, Six Nations Fire Services. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Yep.
It's good to be back in council chambers after a long time. Just coming forward as a briefing note, recommendation, official closure of Station 3 with a plan to review potential locations for a new build, depending on the evaluation and review of community risk. This will include formally returning the property to the estate of Luella Elliott. There's a bunch of whereases and therefores. And so that's my recommendation going to council.
Okay, is there a mover? Moved by Carrie. Okay, moved by Carrie, second by Melba with questions. Go ahead, Carrie.
Mike, are you gonna hand it over as is, or are we gonna take everything down that we put up? The fence and the building and?
Under the terms, if we're not using it as a fire station, we turn it over as is.
Any Melba?
Yeah, I'm just questioning the correct owner. Luella Elliott, as we know, she had passed away some years ago. And I've been told by 2 family members that they own it. Brett Elliott, as well as his sister Barbara. So is this correct here that it's still in Luella Elliott's name, the land?
The land ownership said back to Luella Elliott or the state thereof, and that's a family matter for them to define.
Okay. The state thereof.
And that's stated in the recommendation.
Okay, Melba, thank you. Helen? Already moved. Okay, all in favor? Oh, go ahead, another one, Carrie?
It said you're finding some potential locations for a new build. Do you have anything yet?
Nothing yet. We want to conduct a community risk assessment, state standards of cover, evaluate the future growth and development of Six Nations to determine, A, do we even need to put in a station there? B, and if we do, where's the best location? And that information request to be coming in a briefing note later down the road.
Okay, so moved by Carrie, second by Melba. Therefore be it resolved that the Six Nations of the Grand River Chief and Council approve planning process and further report upon completion of the, no, this one. Be it resolved that the Six Nations of the Grand River Chief and Council approve the closure and termination of the services of Station 3 located at concession 6 Township, Oneida, RS 045, Cougar Road, 2134 Cougar Road. And therefore, it be resolved that the Six Nations of the Grand River Chief and Council return the parcel of land to the estate of Luella Ruth R. Elliott. All in favor? Be opposed? See none, carried. Waive second reading. Carrie, second by Melba, all in favor? Opposed, see none, carried. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, chiefs updates. So my updates are, I had a meeting with Chief Claire Salt on April 24th. It was just an introductory meeting with her. Chief Salt and I took some time to get to know each other, hoping to build positive, productive relationship for benefit of both communities. We also talked about respective experiences dealing with the federal and provincial governments and working on nation-to-nation relationship building. I met with the mayor of City of Brantford, Mayor Davis, on April 24th for the monthly reoccurring meeting. The mayor and I discussed the need for better transportation options, and it is encouraged to see the city open to sharing future plans and insights with Six Nations. Also, the city's openness to sharing plans with Six Nations signals a positive step towards collaboration and addressing mutual concerns. Next, meeting with Mayor of Hamilton, Andrea Horwath, on April 25th. And again, it was introductory meeting. The meeting included discussions of the problems that were happening, and also relaying the word what Indigenous means, and regarding about Métis, giving due recognition of using First Nations instead of Indigenous. I proposed also that the Hamilton City Councilors come to the Woodland Cultural Center to learn more about who the people of Six Nations are and about the community's historical presence in the region. Meeting with Brant Community Healthcare System, that was also April 25th. I had an introductory meeting with Bonnie Cam, the president and CEO for Brant Community Healthcare System. The BCHS consists of Brantford General Hospital and the Willett Hospital in Paris. She expressed an interest in working closer with Six Nations in improving racism in the hallways. I connected her with the Director of Wellbeing and to continue these discussions with her, with the director. Also, JTBA governance table was Wednesday, April 30th. Meeting which focused mostly on updates from the Canadian government officials, immigration, refugees, and citizenship of Canada officials, spoke about right of entry legislation and potential interim measures. Crown Indigenous Relations and Northern Affairs Canada officials spoke on challenges facing any changes to identification and travel document requirements. The Canada Border Service Agency's officials led a discussion on whether U.S. government representatives could be included in future JTBA meetings as observers. There is currently a U.S. tribal engagement process underway. The technical table is to meet again soon and continue exploring the next steps. Meeting with the CEO of Metrolinx on April 30th. Lands and Resource staff and I met with the CEO of Metrolinx, Phil Verster, and his Director of Indigenous Relations for an introductory meeting. This meeting was a valuable opportunity to establish some communication and what Six Nations priorities are. Meeting with Grady on April 30th. Myself and Nathan virtually had a meeting with Grady to do a follow-up to the previous presentation to council. We discussed the needs of working together, more collaborative, and transition away from working in silos. I visited the grade 5 class at JC Hill School. That was on May 1st. That was fun. They asked me all different questions. The teacher invited me to speak since the students were learning about governance in the classroom. I was able to share what the day in the life of the chief looks like and answering some great questions from the students. We did a joint council get together to build relationships with Brantford. That was on May 1st. Counselors and I were able to build relationships at with the city of Brantford. The event was a big success. Most of the counselors were able to attend, as well as 8 out of the 10 Brantford counselors attended. These relationships will improve helpful as we promote our priority files in this relationship. I also, more information. Oh, the bike and hike for hospice. I accepted an invitation to attend St. Joseph's Life Care Foundation hike and bike for hospice. That was on Saturday, May 5th. The 20th annual hike and bike hospice event was a fundraiser for Stedman Community Hospice. Following the meeting, I connected with the interim president, Sandra Romelli, with the respective directors. I connected them with Lands and Resources and also the Director of Wellbeing. Meeting with the First Nations Power Authority. That was on May 7th. It was an introductory meeting with the president and CEO of the First Nations Power Authority. I shared information on Public Works Community Awareness Event, the Energy and Employment Fair, that also they were in attendance. The First Nations Power Authority was interested in exploring possible pathways with Six Nations and community members in general to an energy sector. I connected them with Six Nations Polytech and Six Nations Development Corporation to discuss further collaborations. Also, too, I wanted to let the community know that Hydro One, it will be coming to the council chambers on May 29th from 10 till 3 o'clock to talk with community members. They'll be available to provide support for Ontario Electricity Support Program, support for having tax exemption and delivery charges removed, answering bills or related questions, and provide payment assistance information. I encourage all interested parties to attend and take advantage of this opportunity to speak directly with Hydro One representatives. For more information, you can call Lori Martin at 519-445-2205, extension 3229. Is it supposed to be 2201? Is that your question? Go ahead. Support of having tax exempt and delivery charges. If some of them already have the charges on there. Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah, across Ontario, there's still First Nations experiencing the delivery charge showing either backup on their bill or not being removed at all. So we just want to make sure it's consistent across the board.
Okay, and the last thing is Chiefs of Ontario, annual Chiefs Assembly and Regional Chief Election. We're hosting the Chiefs of Ontario annual Chiefs Assembly and Regional Chief Election on June 11th to the 13th. The theme this year is Coming Together, advocating for First Nation sovereignty. Registration is now opened. For more information related to information on the conference, but also for vendors, food vendors, or any booths that you would like at the trade show, please contact Lee Thompson. Also at 519-445-2201 for information. Did you want to add anything on that one? Okay. Okay. that was my update. Is there a mover to accept his information? Yep, moved by Carrie, second by Audrey. Go ahead, Carrie.
I just heard on a weekend that, New Credit is having a by-election. Somebody resigned, I guess. Yeah, you didn't hear anything when you were talking to the chief? No,
No, she never mentioned anything.
yeah, I
like
just
that.
heard that Saturday.
Oh, okay. Okay, all in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. So number 7, we're gonna defer those. The next meeting. So we're going to scheduling. So let's see. So Six Nations Polytechnic Annual Celebration is 2024, recognizes students' accomplishments to take place on June 13th. So if anyone is available, to register, to attend, it's from 2 till 5 at the gathering place. Yes. Yep. The second is Laurier Stedman Prize Award celebration to take place on Thursday, May 30th at 6:30 at the One Market Building. And if anyone is interested to go, please let me know. We can register you to go. Also on the 3rd, the Six Nations Police Awards ceremony is Thursday, June 6th. Time is 5 o'clock. Reception and dinner is at 6 at Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. And we need to RSVP May 17th. Is there anyone wanting to go? So Dale already registered. Helen? Okay. Greg? Hazel? Melba? Audrey? Okay. Brooke, do you get those? So Brooke will register you. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay, also for number 4 is a 2-day for health services that is putting on a meeting. It's at Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. So if any, they're asking for the council to attend the 2 days. If you're able to attend May 21st or 22nd, or May 27th, 28th, or June 11th and 12th. That one's a hard one because that's when the Chiefs of Ontario was here. So is it?
It
Yes,
says as
there was-
one, we work together, but what is the actual workshop or whatever it is gonna be about?
Hazel?
There was an email this morning, Helen, that explained that, and it's been put on by health, and, what is the content? It's basic training, like in all different areas. It's information that everybody could take away and.
Yeah.
No, not on your resume. Just live better, let's say it that way.
Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah, no, I'll also outline some of the programs and services that they're running, just so that everyone's on the same page. So the intent is also to include staff in there as well, just on those programs and services that are delivered. And that's why they kind of spread it out into all of those dates, because they couldn't have all of their staff come on one single or 2 single dates, but they spread it out to the 6 dates that have been identified.
Elena?
Is it possible to go partial days? Because we have engagements the evening of the 21st and the morning of the 22nd. And I think there's political liaison the morning of the 27th. So
Yeah, so I think whatever date
can,
you can make it, yeah. That'll be good. Okay, go ahead, Melba.
Yeah, can we identify when we're going? I think they.
Can you
probably wanna
use
know.
your mic?
They probably want to know, when we're actually going to go, and I'll be going on the 21st and 22nd myself.
Okay, so if you can let Brooke know the dates that you are able to go.
Same with me, 21st.
Melba said the 21st, 22nd, and same as Hazel. Dean, go ahead, Dean.
Hi, I just want to say that Deb did reach out to me to actually MC for the event, and I did respond back stating I can only do the 21st and 22nd day. But she was also looking for other MCs, youth MCs for the other dates as well, just to kind of keep the event flowing and stuff. So I will be attending on the 21st and 22nd. Thank you.
Next, we have the Tom Longboat Run. I'll be going to that and attending also. I'll be going into the 5K and also opening ceremonies. Is there if any other counselors are wanting to go? It starts registrations at 8 a.m., opening address is 8:30, and start times at 9 o'clock if counselors are wanting. Go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, I'll also join you on that one, Chief, if council doesn't mind. I know we both did the mock walk this previous Saturday as well, so I'll do the Tom Longboat run too.
Okay, great. See you there. Yep, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, it was a great event. It was well attended last year, and I think you could also ride a bike as well. One of the highlights, we had a visitor there. I think her name was Jocelyn Larocque from the Team Canada, I believe was there. So yeah, it was a great event, and I encourage everyone to come out.
Okay, the next one we have is the reading of the Great Law of Peace. It'll be here, speakers of 6 nations of the Grand River Territory and participate in reading of the Great Law and take part at Sour Springs Longhouse from June 30th to July 6th. And if you're able to go, just let Brooke know that you'll be attending. The next one, I'll need a motion for this one. 6 Nations of the Grand River, like the council accept the invitation from Mayor Liggett, City of Cambridge, to approve Chief Sherilyn Hill and if other council members who wish to attend a soccer complex grand opening on Saturday, June 15th, 2024 in Cambridge. Yeah. So for Saturday, June 15th, 2024. Moved by Dean. Is there a seconder? Second by Elena. Dean, do you have a question also?
Yes, I do. I just wanted to ask what time, if you have that information.
It's at 9 o'clock, I think. But I can double check though.
Okay, thank you.
Did you want to go?
I'll have to double check back with the community committee because we also have a day scheduled that day for a site visit.
Okay. All right. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried.
Maybe we can ask them to put a sign up like maybe talk to Lonnie to see if they can put a plaque up on this.
Yep. It'll be in my discussions, for sure. Okay, also, on the 8th, 6 Nations of the Grand River elected council approved Chief Sherilyn Hill to accept an invitation from the Survivor Secretariat to attend the 3rd annual Survivors of the Mohawk Institute gathering taking place from June 25th to 27th at the Best Western in Brantford. I'll be attending and I have to do open remarks there. Yep. Can, we're just responding to the invitation, but if you're wanting to go, I can for sure let them know that other counselors are wanting to go. You want to go, Greg? Can you add Greg to that? Okay.
I'd like to
Audrey,
go. Does Amos?
Amos would like to go? Audrey?
Yes.
Audrey, you'd like to go?
This is my
Okay.
crew. This is my crew.
Okay. And Audrey. Helen? Can you use your mic?
Finding out a spelling mistake, it says form and it's supposed to be from.
Can we make that correction? So invitation, next one, invitation from the city of Brantford to attend a dedication ceremony to honor Captain Richard Leary and Trooper Larry John Sudama Rudd for their service in Afghanistan, May 24th. Time is 3 p.m. and the location is at 455 Wilson Street in Brantford. So if there's any counselors that wanted to attend that, go ahead, Dean.
Chief, I just want to make a remark for your previous one for the survivor secretary. If counselors are allowed to go, I would also like to go to that event.
Okay, thank you. It's in your Dropbox. Is that one. So before we go back to that one, so I mentioned if any of the counselors are wanting to go to that. Okay, question, go ahead, Melba.
Oh, I just wanted to mention, I would be going to the Survivor Secretariat at the Best Western, yeah. I guess everyone knows I've been involved with the survivors for the last 14 years here. I've already received the invitation. Thank you.
Hazel?
Can your name be sent in as going to attend?
Go ahead,
It's a
Brooke
week-
can
it's a weekend.
do that. So with all those, if I can just have second reading on number 7 for myself to attend and that one. The rest are around the area in the community. Just wait, second reading.
Wait,
Melba? Amos, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Seen and carried. Okay, now let's go to Helen.
Okay, as chair of the Lands and Membership Committee, I got a concern from the senior manager. She's been getting a lot of calls about immigration, United States and immigration laws, and Lands membership is not mandated to deal with immigration. Their mandate is membership in lands. They're not mandated to deal with immigration. They don't know the answers to the questions. They don't know what they're supposed to do. And they would appreciate calls not being made to lands membership about immigration, because that's not what they're there for. We need to figure out a solution though. I know the Jay Treaty Border Alliance had asked all the communities to record all the border issues. I guess whether it be immigration or what at the border. And so far, Six Nations hasn't done that. So I think we need to designate a person to talk about that can take those kinds of calls. I didn't know whether that would be Joe to record all those calls and keep track. They want you to record the calls, what the issue is, and the date the calls were made. Or, I don't know, somebody needs to be designated to handle that. Those calls,
So what we
those
can,
issues.
so what we can do is set up a meeting with the director, so everybody's on the same page of what's happening, and Nathan will also be involved, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, because we do need to I think we do need to designate somebody to take those calls, but lands membership isn't the place because they're not mandated to do immigration.
Okay. Thank you. Nathan?
Got a few items here. The first is, get this out of my way. The first is, I know yesterday we made a decision on the resolutions table at Chiefs of Ontario. However, we did get a call back from the chief operating officer at KU expressing some concern that we appointed a political rep to sit on the resolution table, and they're looking for technical reps. The concern, I guess, would be around the imbalance of having one entity having a political rep on the resolution table and the rest being technical. So just flagging that for your awareness and further discussion down the road. The next one is I'll turn it over to Shirley just to give an update on bread and cheese.
Go ahead, Shirley.
Okay, so as you all are aware, the Monday, May 20th is our annual bread and cheese. We'll be hosting it once again at the arena. And the doors will open, of course, following the parade. So the first thing that will happen, of course, is Chief, once you're inside, as always, the custom, you'll go to the podium and you'll make the opening remarks. And once the opening remarks are made, and then the people can start funneling in for their bread and cheese. Uh, this year, Steve Williams has graciously offered to coordinate the volunteers for the distribution of the bread and cheese. So if you're looking to want to volunteer, when you show up, when you arrive at the arena, please seek out Steve and he can put you to work. Just by way of information, we have the cheese, as we had done in the past 2 years. It has been individually wrapped. There will be an opportunity if the people find that the cheese is too big for them. There will be a dedicated table with knives, and the individuals can take the cheese and have it cut by someone within the right there within the arena. We'll there'll be, so we've kind of gone back to status quo with bread and cheese prior to COVID. So any deliveries, that's not being accommodated this year. So let those community members know that they'll have to make their way or find family members to make their way on their behalf to be able to get their bread and cheese, unless something was previously coordinated through one of the client services within the territory, either through the senior support program or one of the programs that they may be a client of. All the supplies for cutting the bread and cheese, of course, they'll be available to you, the gloves and things. With regards to the parade, I know in the past that council has participated by riding in golf carts. The golf carts at this time, they're still unconfirmed. So once I get them confirmed and how many that are available, those of you that may want to participate in riding along in the parade, those carts will be made available. As I said, once I get confirmation within the next day or two, I can let you know that. So if there's any other questions, yeah, just feel free to ask, but it's mainly just the way we've always had it, and looking forward to it, and enjoying our bread and cheese together. Yay.
I have some questions. I have Dale, Helen, Carrie.
Thank you, Shirley. Hey, Shirley, is it, you know, how in the historical, I guess, the chief and council have always had a table to hand out. Is that set up again? And we go there and volunteer, we set up as a table and distribute?
Okay, so the last couple years, you've just mingled in with rest of the group. Now, if you choose to have a designated table, let me know now, and I'll ask Steve to make sure that there is a dedicated for chief and council. But it's important that if there is, that the table is filled with chief and council to be able to accommodate the passing on of the bread and cheese. Just let me know.
No, I was thinking, in the past, they've always had a table and chief and council have always found their own volunteers, so it's totally different now, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. Usually the volunteers, we put out a call for volunteers, as well as Steve will also bring in volunteers, so whomever responds to the call, they'll be the ones that will be designated for handing it out.
Thank you.
Helen?
It'll be good to see you all there.
Helen?
Oh, well, just to add to that, the counselors just pick a table wherever we wanna. We just pick a table wherever we wanna serve. It's usually with people we know or something. Sometimes family.
Yes,
Um,
yes, exactly.
somebody told me the bread and cheese isn't in the booklet. So they asked me, are you having bread and cheese this year? They said it wasn't written in the booklet for the 20th.
Okay, now, yeah, okay. I wasn't involved with actually prepping the booklet, but if it's not in the booklet, there is a purpose for it. Is because the booklet is mainly designated to events that where stamps are passed out for attending the event. Now, we don't give stamps for people attending bread and cheese. So that may be why, but I'm pretty sure that we may have had that also in the past where it wasn't in the booklet neither, because it's always been a kind of a standalone. It is part of community awareness, but of course it existed before our community awareness. So it's kind of always been its own standalone event.
Carrie?
Shirley, did you say that the cheese doesn't have to be cut, but the bread does yet?
That is correct, yes.
Melba?
Yeah, I agree with, volunteers. They usually come and go to whatever, table they feel comfortable with. I wanted to ask, Shirley, what she said about families. What did you say about families?
Oh, when it comes to picking up, if there's someone that cannot make it to have their bread and cheese picked up for them, then we divert back to the family members who reside in the household or that who has a direct connection with that individual to ensure that that individual gets their bread and cheese. Because
Okay,
we're not providing delivery.
okay, and some of the departments will be taken care of. Is
The-
that go through Parks and Rec? Because usually it's
No,
using.
no, it goes through the individual departments. If the departments are gonna provide that service, then it's left up to the departments. So if one of the clients are connected to one of our services, they need to reach out to their department about providing that, if they're going to provide that service. We, in general, those that are planning it we're not providing that service this year.
Okay, the other thing is, Steve, he's going to be, the person that's, taking care of the volunteers. Yeah, he does a good job
Yes,
there.
yes,
He acts as a
yes,
boss to begin with, so he does very well. So I appreciate that he's going to be there again.
yes,
Because
he will be.
unfortunately, Steve, you're not the boss, but he is this year. Thank you.
LOL. Okay. We'll let Steve be the boss.
Audrey?
Thank you. Last year, Steve did designate a counselor table, and all the MPs and mayors who showed up came to that table as well, and that was right close to the microphone. But if
Yes,
you
you're
want,
right. You're right, Audrey. That is true. Yes.
okay. And
Yes.
I guess I'd like you to mention the times again for people who are listening, as well as seniors, that there'll be sections for them. And are
Yes.
we welcoming any youth or sports teams to help give out the bread and cheese to our seniors?
Okay. I'm sure that there will be youth and sports teams participating in the volunteer. Like I said, that the call was put out for volunteers. Who actually has come forward to volunteer? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that list is with Lee. And with regards to the parade, the parade will fall into the arena, which in turn will then be for the distribution of the bread and cheese. My understanding is the doors will open at noontime. Those that are already in the arena, which will already be the seniors, they'll be seated and they'll have their bread and cheese distributed to them. The chief will be there. She'll do her opening remarks sometime around 11:30 when the parade's done. And then at noon, that's when we'll open the doors for the community. So I hope that helps. Is that what you're looking for, Audrey?
Yes, because it's always better to say a lot of those details a couple of times so people can
Yes. So
understand them. Thank you.
seniors, if
Yeah.
they can get there, they're welcome to go into the arena and go ahead and get themselves seated. If they have people there that are going to be there to help them, they are more than welcome to go ahead on in and get seated so that they can see the parade as it's or the marching band as it's coming in, which will involve the chief, Sherry Lynn. She'll be a part of that as well.
Okay, go ahead, Melba.
Shirley, did you say there was gonna be an opening address?
Okay, so I'm not sure that part I'm not sure of. In the past, we've always lined up someone with the opening address. If not, then it's always the opening address, of course, with Chief Sherry Lynn. I'm not sure who Lee has coordinated for that, but I can follow up on that as well.
Thank you. That's really important. We're gonna have people,
Yes.
not our own people, but others from outside, other First Nations as well as friends and other family members. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that reminder, Melba.
Also, Shirley, is there a midway? There'll be rides?
Oh, yes, there's a midway. So we have GTA Midways is providing the service this year. That's the same ones that did our bread and cheese, our Solidarity Day event from last year and also from the year before. So yes, there is the midway.
Okay,
And as usual, there will be all the vendor booths, the crafts booths, the food booths. So there will be lots to do there at Bread and Cheese for sure. Most important thing is to sit and enjoy your bread and cheese.
thank you. Go ahead, Nathan.
Thanks, Chief. Just wanted to provide an additional ongoing kind of quick update on Ganyos. The team continues to work on the remediation plan, so that'll be coming to council within the next week or two. But I did want to note that the Ganyos Health Center does remain closed until further notice, but that does not affect Oswego PharmaSafe or Six Nations Mental Health. We have relocated Oswego Lab and Ganyos Medical Center, the RAM Clinic, as well as public health and sexual health clinics over to White Pines at 1745 Chiefswood Road. So those clinics are now situated in White Pines and in operation. Do want to note that because of the we're still in the transition plans, there are a little bit of wait time still occurring. So we do apologize for that inconvenience. We are looking for solutions on the dental office, but that does remain closed until further notice. If you do have a concern and need dental work, patients can call 519-717-6456 for direction and support on that. So we continue to do rolling updates on both radio stations. There will be ads placed in both papers tomorrow, just providing that ongoing update to the community on those particular pieces. So just wanted to pause there, see if there's any questions.
Carrie?
Yeah, have they found the cause of the mold yet, or are they still looking and?
Still looking.
Yeah,
And like I said, we'll be able to present that in the next probably week. We're hoping.
Anything else, Nathan?
And then finally, Brooke, if you can just put up the quick PowerPoint, seeing I have 15 minutes before the puck drops. Just wanted to provide a quick update on the efforts to support the Chiefs Assembly. So we know that the All Ontario Chiefs Assembly is ongoing for June 11th to the 13th, and we are hosting it. So the first slide just talks a bit about our responsibilities as the host community to provide that suitable venue. Given the size of the assembly these days, it has grown. In addition, it is election year, so we are expecting a full roster of the 133 chiefs from across Ontario. So the actual meeting space will be at the Six Nations Arena because of the not only the size, but also the fact that they are going through the selection process. And the selection process does entail that you line up behind your candidate. So they needed the space to also be able to allow for the candidates to be there, but also all of those long lines of delegates standing behind it. In addition to that, one of the first times in Chiefs of Ontario history, they're having a trade show. So we thought the Dejo Gym would be the perfect venue for that. And also, just because it's all in the same venue, we thought it would be a good place to have the cafeteria in the community hall. So all of these three large venues will be able to accommodate the folks coming in, and we'll have proper signs directing all of the delegates to the appropriate spots. We'll also have volunteers situated throughout the venue, just pointing folks in the right direction. Additional venues that are being used, the pavilion at Chiefswood Park is being used to host a number of breakout meetings, and also the gathering place is being used as well. In terms of the cultural support for the assembly as well as the ORC selection process, one of the requirements that we had was to have firekeeping services. And we've engaged the Six Nations Police who have done this before to be the firekeepers and have folks identified for that. And they also provide security at night because the fire cannot go out. So the fire will be kept all 3 days of the assemblies. So the fire will be lit at 6 a.m. on the Tuesday to start the event. Six Nations dancers and singers are being incorporated into this grand entry. We're keeping in line with the 2006 where a stick song was provided. And I think you helped with that, Melba, actually. We're identifying Six Nations dancers and singers to accompany the grand entry. And that will be in conjunction with the big drum as well. So and I've been working with Amos on doing that in a good way. And we're also working to identify knowledge keeper to open and close the meeting. Call outs have gone out. And again, I believe we're working with Amos to identify the appropriate folks for those aspects of things. I believe the meeting is scheduled for Friday from Chiefs of Ontario, there, Amos. I know you're asking. And then we provide catering, breakfast and lunch for the days of the event, as well as coffee and snack stations throughout the venues. So folks have the opportunity to have the break. Also note, we'll be doing a packed lunch on the last day, as delegates tend to do a working lunch that day. As a custom of Chiefs of Ontario, they cram all of the resolutions on that last day. So they usually do a working lunch. So we'll be doing a packed lunch for them on that. Next slide talks a bit about the social events happening. So the Tuesday evening, We're going to be hosting a lacrosse game, an evening with the Six Nations Chiefs at ILA. We've also booked the banquet hall and provided refreshments in the banquet hall to host the delegates coming up. So sign-up sheets have gone out and folks will have to pay for a ticket. And I understand the chief is doing the ball drop that particular day. So if counselors want to attend there and host the chiefs that will be coming to that lacrosse game, that would be great. Six Nations Tourism is also coordinating tours with Woodland Cultural Center, Pauline Johnson, as well as Mohawk Chapel throughout the event. So delegates, as well as their families, will have an opportunity to participate in that. We've also opened up paddling as well as our splash pads for any of the families of the delegates that may be coming for that particular week. Six Nations Dev Corp is doing a special package for those dates and having more bingos available. We haven't got the literature on that, but we'll be sending that over to the coup delegates for that particular week. Wednesday evening, there is a gala. Welcome to the new or incumbent Ontario Regional Chief. I should have put that there. We've arranged for a plated roast beef dinner. We're also made arrangements for a cultural performance. Smoke dance show is requested by a number of chiefs. Also having local entertainment, the Second Line Bluegrass, Robin Miracle. And we're working to have a gift presentation from Six Nations to the newly elected regional chief. So I'm wondering if councillors just wanted to have a quick meeting. I'm going to schedule it for Friday just to kind of go over the Wednesday evening aspects and align that up with the expectations. The gala is taking place at the community hall. And
Got a question, Gary, Carrie?
Is the media invited or do they just come on their own?
media is invited, and that's usually controlled by the Chiefs of Ontario.
Okay.
And I'm glad you raised that. Six Nations members won't have a registration fee to pay for attending the event. There'll be a special table for community members who want to witness either the election or the assembly. They'll be able to get in for free. But have to register, yeah. They'll get a little tag and everything. I just want to talk a bit about the trade show. This is going to be in the digital gymnasium. We do have space for 30 vendors in the gymnasium. Six Nations vendors will be free of charge. They won't have any cost to them. We have reserved 10 spaces for vendors from other First Nations because I know it is a livelihood for a number of them as well. And we'll be charging $250. Any government vendors that come in will be charging $500 for them to be able to do that. Also, you'll note there'll be tables around the kind of in the hallways and in the arena. Those will be for the Chiefs of Ontario. They've asked that just information booths go out for some of their departments to kind of highlight what they're up to. And I think that's it for the vendors. I just wanted
Oh,
to,
we got a question. Go ahead, Dale.
In regards to business as well, is there things set up for like businesses, people who may want to get to know more other First Nations in Ontario to do business with them? Is there room for them in
Yep.
regards to vendors?
yeah, and what we would do there is if it's not a Six Nations business, it would be charged the vendor fee of $250. Yeah, correct.
Go ahead, Amos, then Audrey.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't pull my hand down. Okay, I'll pass.
Okay, Audrey?
Thank you. Just two little questions here. One is, how will the volunteers be identified? Different color shirt, different color lanyard, that sort of thing? And will there be a place where you can hand out or leave pamphlets for people to learn about Six Nations and like almost like do a tourism blitz type of thing? Yeah,
So the volunteers will be in purple shirts, and they'll have volunteers on the back with our logo on the front. So they'll be able to identify that way. And yes, we are having a Six Nations booth where departments and other folks could leave information pertinent to Six Nations. So there will be a Six Nations specific booth. I think it's going to be coordinated by tourism.
yeah.
The next slide is just the golf tournament. So this is the 20th anniversary of the Ontario First Nations Young People's Council. They are taking over the golf tournament. So they have sent out some promotional material to their individuals, and we will be sending out later this week out to some of our local businesses who might be interested in registering. The registration will start, sorry, I should say this will be taking place at Mott Hill on June 10th. Registration will begin at 9:30 with a shotgun start at 11. And the deadline for registration will be May 27th, 2024. They're also having a banquet at 5:30 at Mott Hill as well, to honor some of the past OFNYPC members. Six Nations have been asked to provide volunteers for that day, which we are happy to accommodate. And we're looking forward to kind of hosting and helping out with that particular event. I've also included a link on there. And like I said, we'll be sending out information to the community as well as businesses who wish to register for that and support the Young People's Council. The final is just our public awareness and advertising plan. So this week we are getting notices out to the community broadly. I'm just working on the explanation of Chiefs of Ontario, as well as the explanation on the Ontario Regional Chief selection process. So there's awareness across the community that this event is going on, and typically some of the topics that might be discussed at the Chiefs of Ontario. We're also working with Two Rivers to develop a notice to local businesses about the event and the opportunities that they have to participate. And finally, we're doing a call out to all Six Nations vendors regarding the trade show so that they can take advantage of the free opportunities there. But just by word of mouth, just through the Chiefs updates that have happened in the past, we already have 11 spots filled for Six Nations vendors. So that's the update.
Helen?
About transportation for people having to come from Brantford, because people that fly here wouldn't have a car unless they're gonna rent cars. I don't know, how do they do that? I don't,
So we have assisted the Chiefs of Ontario in identifying a shuttle service to take and have a schedule from the hotels in Brantford as well as Hamilton into the community and having that schedule. So we sent that over to the Chiefs of Ontario. They're covering the cost of that. Normally it does lie with the host, but given the gravity of this particular assembly, they agreed to cover the cost.
That's it. No other questions, comments for Nathan's update? Okay. All right, number 9. Thank you, Nathan, for that update. And number 9 is a motion to adjourn. Moved by Carrie, second by Melba. All in favor? Anybody opposed? See none, carried. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. Okay. Okay, from Melba. All right, Melba. So again, thank you for joining us tonight and have a great night.